Morning. Just wondering if we're gonna get stuck. Better move my sign quickly. Are we gonna get stuck, right? Nah. There's only one way to find out. I think we better just go for it, to be honest. Oops, what's that? Okay, we made it. Whoop, whoop. Easy. So a quick lesson in farming. My store lambs, absolutely overmoon from last week. I was terrified they were going to die last night. As quickly as that, things went downhill. I've had them out grazing these oats and they've had very bad diarrhea. Like, all of them. And I thought it was most likely the grub that they're on is pretty potent. I had them worm counted anyway, and they've got high amounts of worms. They've even got nematodyrus. Nematodyrus. I don't know why we always have to use these Latin names, not just like Fred or something. Do you know what I mean? Dyslexic farmers, like, come on. We usually have to worry about that worm in the spring, but because of the way that the weather is changing and we're having these much warmer autumns, we're actually seeing a second hatch of nematodyrus, and it's a big killer, but it's also easy to kill itself. It's a big killer of lambs, but it's also easy to treat. So I had them tested and they had a high egg count, so we were like, fine, we'll get the yellow wormer that we done the ewe lambs with, drench them. So I picked that up yesterday. About an hour after picking it up, the vets rang with the poo sample back from the ewe lambs, because we had them retested, and it turns out the yellow drench hadn't worked at all. So they suggested using the clear drench. Obviously I need to treat these guys as well, but I panicked. I'm not gonna lie, I panicked. The ewe lambs are fine. We'll use a clear drench on them and then give it 10 or 12, 14 days, whatever it is, and then retest to check that the worms are cleared out. That's fine, they look strong and healthy. I'm happy with them. But these lambs are not looking well at all. A combination of having really bad diarrhea, I think this grub is just shooting straight through them, as you can see. I mean, they're literally jetting it out. They're looking really sluggish and they're just not looking like bright. I can't really explain. That's actually the firmest poo I've seen. Just to just to mug me off. That's the actually firmed up, but they're not looking sharp or bright. So I thought, I don't know if we've got time to have a clear drench and check that worked, or if it doesn't. So I just went for that absolute bazooka of all wormers, Zolvix. I wouldn't recommend using this unless you really have to, but all of these, every animal you see in this pen is going into the food chain in the next few months. None of these are going to be grazing land that we're going to graze again. None of them are going back onto our permanent pasture. None of them we're keeping for breeding, nothing. So they're just going to run around on arable land now that should be in rotation now for the next couple of years. We won't be on it again. So I'm not worried about worm resistance or anything. I'm just worried about the lambs. So we're going to hit them hard with a Zolvix today. Zolvix will absolutely kill anything in them and they'll just be away again, which will be nice, won't it? Hello, that's all right. You all right? Oh, good. I thought you were going to tell me the sheep were out. Thank goodness for that. That's them done. Fingers crossed. I mean, we can't do a lot else. What I might try and do is get some straw, just so they've got a bit of like roughage to eat, just to slow things down. Because I think the oats are a lot for them, quite rich. I'm just gonna pack this up. I'm gonna get the ewe lambs. So I just got to my ewe lambs. We're having a bit of a different approach here. Because these girls are on permanent pasture that we're planning to graze again, I'm using a different wormer on these. I'm not going for a Zolvix. The reason I went for a Zolvix on the other ones is, well, I'm feeling a lot of financial pressure that those lambs need to come to a certain amount of money, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. So I went a bit overkill. So they're trying to keep Zolvix as like an isolation wormer, so you sort of use it and then quarantine them. So effectively those lambs are quarantined because they're going to be on an arable rotation. We're not going to graze for 2-3 years again, so the risk of resistance is really, really low. Whereas these are going to go into our breeding flock and they're going to mix with other sheep that are on our land that we're going to graze again. So if we don't have to use it, we won't. Also, like, they just look completely different animals. Look much brighter, perkier, happier. They don't look like they're about to die any minute, so there's less of a a rush, we can worm these, give it a week, see how they look. They're not sort of going downhill as rapidly. Steady up, you. Steady. Steady up. Hey, steady up. Steady up. Good girl. Hold them up. Good dog. Good dog. Gotcha! We're going with an ivermectin on these, and then we're going to test them again in 2 weeks. Because they dropped from an egg count of like 9 or 950 or something down to 600, which isn't enough. Apparently you want 85% reduction, you got about 30%, which isn't ideal at all. So the yellow drench was ineffective, so we're going with a clear. And if this doesn't work, then don't know. If I'm honest with you, we're going to seek professional help. In other news, this is £30, the other bottle was 210. I would much rather be using this. Let me tell you. £30 and you get a strap. That's pretty good, to be fair. Like this. Mate, what a banging strap. How good that is. Yeah, baby. That's £6 on the floor. 50 boo. All done. Right, hopefully we're on track now. Right, let's wrap her up. Wrap her up. Do you get it? Because it's called a wrapper. Just back at the farm, ducks using the duck facilities. I've got one more bunch to worm up here, but I'm gonna have to do it in the morning because we're running out of daylight and I've got to get about half an hour's drive away to go and check some sheep are okay. This is the duck spa. Right, I'm gonna get my ducks to bed and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't you dare jump back in that. Go to bed. Well done, good choice. It's like getting kids out of a swimming pool. That's really awkward, I just fell over. See you tomorrow. Morning, it is very cold this morning. I've got my long johns on, what is. I'm just at the lambs that we Zolvix yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, they actually look happier, so I'll take that. So I am so much happier. Good stuff. Remember what I was saying about ducks on a mission? Mission ice bath this morning. It's gonna confuse them. They can't get anywhere. That's confused you, isn't it? The first ice they've ever seen, so they're like, what's happened? What's happened to the pond? Indy, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Right, I've got one more bunch of lambs to do, so shall we? Snug. Perfect fit. Great reversing, Chris. Thanks. Smells a bit clutchy. Just drop that on there. Lovely. Feel excited about holding our own replacements. You get to sort of follow them a bit better and probably makes you a better farmer as well, to be honest. Yeah, baby. Gonna stand on this. Go and find your mate. Things to note, red marks on their bums. So that's so I know which ones have run with tups and which ones haven't. Because it is likely, if we get organised, we will scan them. But that's also not likely, because I'm not organised. I live a very chaotic life, as you are aware. The truth is, we're just spread far too thin, and we've got too many things going on. So things that aren't 100% necessary don't always get done, because there's always something more pressing to try and do. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So that is it for the sheep stuff today. I've got an afternoon chainsawing up some trees, because we have got heaps down. Thank you very much for coming. Till next time.